But guys, this has truly changed the game for me in my classroom. Hey guys, it's Ray from the Teach Better team, and I'm so thrilled to be here to talk about progress monitoring. I know, we have a course in the Academy that covers all progress monitoring things. However, I have seen progress monitoring done 1,000 different ways. So while I know a lot of these strategies are in the course, I wanted to make sure that I at least jumped in here and said, hey, I do progress monitoring too, and there are so many strategies to make it a success. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, progress monitoring is when you allow yourself to not only monitor the progression of your students' learning, but also allow your students to have a voice and so they can advocate in the process. Now, I have seen this done anywhere from a piece of paper to a Google Sheet to, something using crayons. I mean, I have literally seen it all. I think my favorite, though, was walking into a classroom where they used magnets and moved throughout a pizza board. That was really cool. The whole point is, though, you're creating a space for your students to not only track their success, but advocate for their needs, which has been my favorite thing I've been able to implement in my own middle school classroom. In my 6th grade classroom, students are using the grid method, which if you're familiar, it is something obviously the Teach Better team talks about all the time, the amazing creator Chad Ostrowski. However, I'll let you know that even as I started getting into the grid method, I didn't know how progress monitoring was going to work because I was essentially going to have a classroom of 33 students all doing 33 different things. And in addition to that, I wanted to create a culture of learning. I love the family element. I wanted students talking. It was so important that I didn't work in a quiet learning environment. I wanted my students moving around and constantly ebbing and flowing. And while this looks different in a COVID environment, I understand I still use that same intentionality in my classroom now in 2021. So as I'm looking at progress monitoring, there's a few key things I want you to consider as your basics. The first thing is it needs to be a living, breathing document or project or thing. You constantly need to allow your students to understand that this document changes. So whether they're moving a magnet or coloring something in or doing something electronically, this is a living, breathing document that we manipulate to share our learning. Now, when we share our learning, there's a lot of things that students can share out on. They can share on their progress. They can share on their current level of understanding. They can share on their questions. They can share on advocating for a partner or wanting to do something with a friend. There are so many ways and so many opportunities that our students have to communicate. So incorporating this type of communication into your progress monitoring page has actually changed my entire environment as students advocate for their needs. Because now we don't only use a document to say, oh, hey, look there, Charlie and Jessica are working on the same thing. That's interesting. But as a teacher, I could look at that document and say, oh, Charlie and Jessica are working on the same thing. They should work together. And then all of a sudden, Charlie or Jessica updates their tracking page, their progress monitoring page, to a different color that says they have a question or they're looking for a partner. And then automatically we can look at this document, this living, breathing document. We can say, ooh, we should partner them up. And also let's bring in Yasmin because Yasmin's ahead. She already mastered that content. Let's partner all of them up. And we can really create a learning environment where students understand the learners they're surrounded by and understand themselves so they can find success. I know I'm getting excited about this, but guys, this has truly changed the game for me in my classroom because over the past few years, as students have truly started taking ownership over their learning, it's not just me in the back with my printed out roster checking off that students have turned in items, but I'm really getting to see students process their learning, question their learning, and use their entire learning environment to find success. I'm not the avenue for them to reach the goals that they have set for themselves. I'm one avenue. There are so many incredible students that sit in our class, and there are so many learning opportunities that they should take advantage of, whether I'm involved or not. So as you continue to explore progress monitoring, if you want to see 1.5 million ways to do it, go check out the course in the Academy. However, I will tell you, I use a Google Sheet. It's super easy and transparent. And if you ever have any questions, there are a ton of resources and blogs here at teachbetter.com. So as you keep exploring, don't forget to reach out because we're always here to help. Good luck monitoring your students' progress and also creating a learning environment that's truly going to enter into the 21st century.